Well, here I am to make my post-game video about the Iowa State game. It didn't take me this long. Uh, I didn't do it immediately after the game because I had a lot of other things to do, uh, and so now I'm able to do it and give you a good summary about the game. It was a sloppy victory overall, and like I told you before, we have struggled in Ames the last 3 times now that we have been there. So we've so it's just been we've struggled in Ames the last 3 times. So I was wondering how tough it was going to be, but man, our defense really was a difference in the game. In the first half, on our first drive, Bouchel is sacked on 3rd and long, but their guy taunted us, and he got a flag for unsportsman for taunting, which gave us new life, and we marched down the field, and Chris Warren scored on a touchdown run, and then and then we and then on our next drive we try some reverse play, tried to get a little greedy, and we fumble it, and Iowa State recovers. We Chris Warren should have just taken the ball and taken the loss because it ruined a drive. It ruined a drive. And then our next drive was set up when Deshaun Elliott picked off a pass by Iowa State, and then another touchdown was set up with a with a dirty hit on Bouchel, yeah, which gave us 15 more yards and good field position, and at the end we capitalized at the end of that drive with a touchdown pass to freshman right back to Neil Carter, and then we were not the same for the rest of the night. Our defense played lights out. The only touchdown they gave up came when our punter shanked a punt and had a short field, and they capitalized and they were back in the game. But in the fourth quarter, we got another interception, and we got a field goal out of that, which gave us separation. We turned Iowa State back a couple more times, and then we went on we ran off the last 6 or so minutes of the fourth quarter. We ran the ball the way we did our last drive. We need to play like that every drive, because that last drive we closed out a game that we struggled, but we dug deep to win the game. We need to have that kind of drive every drive. Because we need that drive more often because that will help us in the long run. Our schedule does not get easier. It's only going to get tougher from here on out. Next week we got Kansas State coming into Austin. I'm glad that's in Austin because we need our home field fans. We need to have a lot of noise, and we need to be loud in order to make Kansas State uncomfortable and force them into mistakes. We've beaten Kansas State the last 2 times they've come down here, and we hope to extend our home streak against Kansas State to 2. Yeah, the 2 years ago, we beat them in a rainy defensive battle, and in 2013, we ended the Kansas State jinx when Kansas State was rebuilding. I think we can win against Kansas State because of our defense, but our offense is going to have to play much better than they did tonight, than they did Thursday night against Kansas State or Iowa State. If they want to beat Kansas State, they're going to have to execute. They're going to have to play their best game that they have played all year. Our defense is good enough to keep us in any game this season, but our offense is bad enough our offense struggles enough to where we can potentially lose games. So our offense has to get it together, and they have to find some sort of way to run the ball, to move the football, like running the football, and they need to throw the ball downfield more instead of these dink and dunk passes. We need to take more of a throw it down the field and throw it down the field like to Colin Johnson because he's a matchup problem. We need to be able to throw it downfield more because this dink and dunk stuff is not working. We're gonna have to play a really good game against Kansas State. If we want to beat the Wildcats, we're going to have to be able to run the ball and pick up first downs because Kansas State, their offense is, they love to restrict your time of possession. So we got to make every possession count against Kansas State. That's all for now. Hook 'em horns and Texas fight. And bring on Kansas State. We're coming for you, K-State.